That's good. Okay, so my name is Ivo. I will be talking about collaboration, value, and how to actually, I would say, be successful in this this weird era when everyone value money, and money are number one. So first, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Ivo. I am working at a company called Tricentis, and this is going to be product placement. So Tricentis is a company which is focusing on test management. This is our persona, and I think we have like 2 PMs from Tricentis here, so they will be more than happy to tell you more about what we actually do and why. We're also doing a lot of hiring, so if you're looking for the next opportunity, feel free to reach me after or now, I don't care. But I am almost 15 years or more than 15 years in the tech industry. I'm old enough to remember how we shipped products back in the 90s. It was floppy disk. If you don't know what is it, Google that. I am 10 years in leadership. Last decade, I'm really focusing on everything what is in cloud, literally. I got lucky. I built 8+ great teams from ground up, which means literally I had to find the people on the market, build them, and make them successful. I was starting in government. Literally, I was working for government. Don't do that. It's terrible. Regulation, everything. You can go fast. And money, it's just wasting of money and time and everything. After that, I moved to a company called Tieto. I think they're rebranded now, so it's a Sweden-Finnish company, mainly focusing on operations, so outsourcing a lot of the stuff. Then I moved to Embedded, which is technically home credit. Then SolarWinds, which could be famous in Brno, and it's also famous in the US because of some security problems. Let's not talk about it. Then I had like 2 amazing years at Productboard. So that was the era when I literally learned everything about product management, as we have been building product for product people. But let's not talk about Productboard. Now I'm in Tricentis. I'm also Plato HQ mentor. So if you would like to get some advice, it's paid. 2 days free. Anyway, I would like to tell you a story, even and I'm not a storyteller, but when we were preparing this meetup, I asked the question like, hey, should I be like theoretically, should I like just give you like best practices, or what? I was like, I think the value is literally in the real examples, and so here we go. So a year ago, what is the date? Yeah, a year ago I joined Tricentis. It's actually very interesting how I get there, but let's not talk about it. We can do after. But since I get that gig, I was like, okay, so that's my next challenge. I was told that, hey, you are going to join as software engineering leader. You are literally going to lead that organization. If you don't know what is software engineering, it's a discipline when the engineers are taking care of the SaaS-based products, literally like operating that, making sure that everything is up and running. I would say it's one of the most critical roles in the company, because if it's down, it's not working, which is not good for business, right? So I was told like, hey, from my potential manager, like, hey, it's not good, you know, it's a lot of challenging. I was like, okay, why not? But I didn't realize that when you talk to anyone in the US and someone will share with you like, hey, it's bad. Anyway, so in one of the first calls which I got was like, hey, there's a product, it's not in a good shape, it's like 10+-year-old code base, it's a hybrid model, so it's not like pure SaaS, it's not SaaS native, it's literally like something what we ship to on-prem customers, it's something what customers can run by themselves, but also we try to run it as a multi-tenancy model. I was like, okay, so what about the cost control? It was like literally like 0, nothing, very little. Multiple deployment models. So because it's a hybrid product, you can install it through multiple ways. You can deploy it in multiple ways. It's actually supporting multiple operating systems and so on. Mean time to delivery of new versions was months. Hey, and we are not shipping in on floppy disk, right? It's a digital product. When I was looking on money, It was like literally millions of waste year over year. Millions of money which we could shift in different areas. I was like, what's going on here? Why? And the worst thing was when I joined actually, I was looking over outages and I found for the SaaS part of the product, and I found that there was like outage for 3 days, one region down. Hundreds of customers couldn't use the product at all. I was like, okay, so that's bad. What now? I was like literally thinking, so I'm going to leave. No way. There's no way, literally no way how we can run a healthy business with this product. So I took a deep breath. I was like, okay, what I should be doing next? Should I start looking for a new job? I was like, no. I don't run. I took it as a challenge, and I realized that I need to figure out the plan, how to move from something what is not working, what is not making money, what is not operating on the level where it should be, to something what is making money, it's profitable, and everyone loves that. Not there yet, but on the way. So first thing which I realized that I can do it by myself. I got some people, but as you heard from previous talk from that transition, this is the era now, and actually I did the same. I was looking at my team and I was like, I'm not sure if this is going to be successful for all of us. So I had to start looking on the right people, and I have two people from my team even here in the front seat. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them after. They can share more stories because they are actually the ones who are helping me to run the product and be successful there. So I was looking on skills, experience, team dynamic, all of that. It's part of that, and it's critical for every successful team to have right people, not the most skilled people, but the right people. That's important. But how to do that when the budget is tight? So I was looking actually on the cost of individuals and the locations, and I was also thinking about, does it make sense to have everyone like remote? Does it make sense to have like co-located team? Does it make sense to have people like in the US, APAC, South Africa, I don't know where? So I was looking on all of that, and I did some math, and I figured out when I will be staffing the team like here in Czech Republic, I can actually save some money and get more. It's easy to say, hard to do, but it's possible. But also, as a result of it, I was able to actually fully staff my team and save some money. And business always loved like, hey, so we get more for less? Thank you. But it wasn't easy. It took literally half a year to actually do it from 0 to 6, 7 people. So that was first thing which I was actually doing. Then, and actually in parallel, I was looking on our bill, month over month spent, how much we are spending for our cloud resources, how much we are spending for tooling, how much we are spending for people. I actually talked about it in the previous slide. I don't know, have you heard about FinOps? Financial operations, no one? Yeah, some? Yeah, I know, you know. It's not a buzzword, it's a discipline, it's a role, it could be a job for some people, but it's really important to understand how much you are paying for your asset and tie it to the product cost, product operation. That's the thing which usually product manager doesn't realize, that it's not about, hey, I'm building great stuff, cool, but also the great stuff costs money. And cost money, I don't mean people, I don't mean effort, I mean literally the burning for cloud resources and tooling. That's important. When I was actually checking that, I figured out, okay, so why we have things turned on AWS and we are not using that for months? And I did some math and I found like 100,000 Ks burning, and no one was using that. It's a lot of money for me. I don't know for you, but for me it's a lot of money. So we'll just start shutting down the things and not asking people. And we came to the saving of somewhere between $1 million and $2 million year over year, just for the assets which hasn't been used in AWS. You're laughing? Yeah, it's sad. It's bad. But now we have everything in control because we put some boundaries there. We control our spend. and we're actually communicating our product spend with product managers every month. So everyone in the product, with the product managers are actually taking care of that particular product. They understand how much we are spending for running the production systems, how much we are spending for running the product in our cloud. Quite often we are revisiting things like, hey, does it make sense, the current pricing for our products? Because is it like license-based? Is it like based by usage? It's a different discussion. It's very hard to make how would say it politely. It's very hard to negotiate what is good and bad because sometimes you need to favor grow over profit. And I don't mean that you shouldn't be profitable, but sometimes you don't care too much about usage, but you care about how many customers and users can actually use it. And it's good if you're still making money. But sometimes it makes sense to make it like, make the pricing around usage, not by seats. And my favorite one is like, my favorite question is like, hey, do we know how much profit we are getting per customer? And it's very hard to find that answer for the question sometimes, but it's good to think about it. Even if you don't have precise numbers, it's good to know how much actually you are getting from customer, at least on average. Okay, so that was about money. That was about what we actually did and how we take it in control. But what about incidents? That's not fun. I don't know how many of you faced any production outages, any complaints from customers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so a couple of you. So you know what does it mean. Incidents, they are not good, especially if the product is down. Usually support people, customer-facing people, they are getting calls. And customers are like, you know, they are mad, they are complaining, and they are asking like, hey, when it will be up and running. In the beginning of my journey at Tricentis, there was like an incident every other day for a couple of hours, which is not healthy. And it took us a couple of months to actually stabilize everything with huge collaboration with product. Because prior to the time, product wasn't really informed, they don't care. They didn't want to care about like, the incidents because they were focusing on building the new features instead of like, hey, your product is not operational ready, which I don't think is a good mindset. So we started a discussion with product managers like every month, a week sometimes, every other week, about like, hey, individual incidents, we put together like engineering, product, and even support people together in one meeting where we actually were discussing the learnings during the incidents, like, hey, this happened, this is what we observe, this is what we should be doing. And we actually were able to put some improvements on the product roadmap, which is important. And I saw the question from previous out about tech debt, how you actually prioritize that. This is how. If you have incidents and you know what happened that, like why happened that, sorry. If you know the root cause of the incident, and it's because of your technology state, this is how you can put it to your roadmap because you're actually fixing something or you will preventing some more incidents. SLO, SLE, SSLA, MTTR, MTT, these are the metrics which we are actually using to communicating within the business, like, hey, this is our standards, this is how you're doing every month, that's important. We're actually sharing the numbers with business to understand how we are doing with the product in terms of that. Okay. So let's imagine that we fix the incidents, we have cost control, but then everyone is like, okay, so you are not firefighting, we are not spending money, but everything else is priority now. So we have too many problems at solve at once. We have, you know, every product manager is asking, hey, we need more, we need to ship this, that, blah, blah, blah. How I look on that, how I look on how to solve that, I mean, prioritization exercise, it's not the easy one. Even if you have alignment on the top level, which usually you don't have. I put a vision into my org and also I build a strategy. So it's more about like where we are heading and how we should be heading there instead of like what we are doing now. Does it make sense? Because I don't want to tell my team how to do the things. That's on them to solve, because if I will be doing that, it won't be good, because I don't have a day-to-day experience. But also asking for, like, hey, where we are, roadmap. I'm a huge fan of simple framework, now, next, later. I highly recommend that, because if you do like Q1 or January, February, you know, it's always like, hey, sorry, we had to push back it to Q2 or Q3 or even like year 25, whatever. North Star, that's important. If you don't have it within your team, think about what it's your North Star. Are you familiar with North Star? For my org, it's very simple. It's uptime. If it's up, it's fine. If it's down, it's bad. Very simple. And keep it simple. Okay, I think you will like it. PMs are not enemies, they are friends. You have to be talking as engineering to your product manager every day. One thing which was cute about Productboard, and I really enjoyed it, actually, each team had a dedicated PM, huge benefit. But also, I spent hours weekly talking to the PM which was part of my team, and I learned a lot. But also, what I learned there during all the talks was I was even invited to customer interviews. That was very valuable insight to me to understand the business, because engineering, I mean, I love engineers. They are amazing, but they care about technological excellence. They don't care too much about value for customers. It might be not true. I might be a little bit biased, but that's the usual statement. But when you force them to actually go to customer interviews, they will start seeing the things like, okay, so they don't care about like how the code is written. They don't care about like how we do the things on the behind. They care about like what we deliver, what is the functionality. And what I actually like about it, when we were introducing something like which is being developed, and I actually saw our potential customers or our customers actually using that, I was like, oh, that's amazing. Satisfaction. It was amazing. And when you actually start doing that with your team, your engineers, they will feel more ownership about the value instead of technological excellence. Roadmap is important to understand where you are heading, but it doesn't need to be like, hey, we need to ship X features in Q1 and so on. It's more like, hey, this is the problem which we need to solve in H1. I'm trying to share the feedback about how product operate. I talk about that. We have something which is called product scorecard, which is like, hey, uptime, incidents, cost, very simple. And when we are negotiating with PMs, like, hey, we have to put this on the roadmap, like, because there are some problems or we need to tackle down some tech debt, we're using like stack ranking. Like, hey, if we will fix, I don't know, our backend service, try to simplify it, we might be preventing like 10 incidents per year. And they're like, okay, why not? Or maybe not now. It depends. Okay. Engineering efficiency, I think we heard about it a lot these times. It's about like, hey, can you go faster? Okay, we are going faster now. Can you go even more faster? Does it sound familiar? No? No? Lucky you, okay. Good. Okay, it doesn't matter how fast you go, they will always ask, go faster, go. It doesn't mean that you have to actually scale up your organization, especially now when everyone is looking on the money. 50 engineers can deliver amazing value, that's true, if they will go fast. But if 50 engineers are not efficient, adding more doesn't solve the problem, right? Is it true or not? Sure. Cool, thank you. Yeah, that's true. So I'm always trying to be as simple as possible over complex. Pragmatic engineering, I think that's something what I'm trying to also coach my team to be. It's easy to say, hard to do, but if I will go back on here, if you start getting your engineers actually on the customer interviews, feedback sessions and stuff like that, they will start understanding maybe there is a better way how we can get more efficient if we will stop focusing on every nitty thing in our code base and start thinking about the value. Another thing how you can actually help engineering to be more efficient is unification across your tooling, processes and stuff like that. Every enterprise company is different. Every other company is actually different. If you're like very small startup of 20 people, it's very easy to get alignment. If you are in the company which has engineering of size of 500, it's very hard to get an alignment on tooling. It's fine to have some flexibility, but within your product, I think it's key for success to have an alignment over how you actually doing the things. It could be from, hey, should we be using like GitHub or should we be using Bitbucket? To, hey, I don't care about that, just let's use one. Okay. This is my favorite slide because one team, one goal, one cruise. Product managers in my eyes are captain of the products, aka captain of the boat. Engineering build that ship, that's true. But as an engineer, I can build the ship, put it in the sea. What will happen? It will sink. I can have a captain, but if I don't have a ship, who cares? But also you have to have a team who operates the ship to actually make sure that the engine is running, make sure that there is enough fuel. That's a platform team. And that's when my area is. What is the message here? Collaboration is the key for your success. There is no silos, no camps, no firefights, no walls. One team, one goal, one profit. How to actually go fast but efficiently? I was hoping to give you some advices here. So sometimes it's good to build a cruise versus speedboat. Sometimes it's good to build a speedboat versus cruise. When you are like in early stage of startup, I would say, you have to go fast because otherwise it will be done. That's it, that's simple. So you shouldn't be taking care too much about how mature your product is in terms of technological excellence, but you should be thinking about the value first. Sometimes you have to focus on your tech debt and make sure that it's actually running, like I mentioned in previous slides. But it's usually the early stage of the company or the product. Remove all roadblocks, that's important. So listen to your engineer, to your products, what actually blocking them. Sometimes it's an alignment, sometimes it's like, hey, they don't listen to me. Sometimes it's a business, so it's very, like a C-level, that's very hard to solve, but you can try. Sometimes money can actually solve the issue. That's a good one to talk about. So you can imagine, actually it's a real story, so let's not imagine that. So we had some performance issues with one of our product, and we knew that there was a bottleneck in our backend. And when we bumped the resources there on AWS, it was like, okay, it's performing well, and there is still a problem, but customers are not going to notice that. But the spend month over month was very, it was like 4 times more. So let's imagine that was 50,000, but when we bumped it, it was like $200,000 monthly, which is like a lot of money again. But it was like a temporary solution. So we actually buy out some time to fix the things, but also make sure that the product is operating. So sometimes throwing the money on the problem can solve the issue temporarily, but you have to go back and fix that or make more money. It depends on you. If you have a product which is multi-tenancy, but you have some customers which like privacy and they are asking for a single tenancy model, make sure that your salespeople talk first to you than the customers, because when it's sold, and you can do anything. Message here is like, try to avoid single tenancy models or make more money from that. Otherwise, it's path to the iceberg because you will be overboard by ask from them, operation stuff, and so on. And I see everyone is tired, so sorry for that. I know it's late, so I will try to speed it up. My last slide here is one of the things which helped me to realize the platform is the product. I know that everyone sees like a product like Instagram is a product, but you know on which platform Instagram runs? Anyone?
What was the question?
It's not a question. Platform is the product. That's the important one. So there wasn't any question, but I can put in a question. Is platform a product? Yeah, it is. That's a key information to realize. So when you have like reliable platform, when you can build your product on top of that, it's key to the success. So engineering, product design, support. This is the customers for platform people, literally. And uptime is your North Star. So that's it. I would like to share more, but I signed the NDA, so I can share the details. But anyway, we can talk after. Feel free to ask me questions privately and don't record it. If you would like to ping me later, there's QR code for my LinkedIn. You can email me. Yeah, and that's everything from my side. Thank you. Before we will head to the questions, I have to do a little bit of advertising of engineering leaders community. It's owned by those great people, mainly Marian. He was supposed to actually give a speech here, but he offloaded to me. Thank you. But feel free to join. We are still looking for more members. The main area of focus is a little like engineering leaders or aspirants. It's not for C-level, but if you are C-level, you can join as well. And we are still looking for more. There is going to be more meetups coming, mainly in Prague, but I hope more will be coming also to Brno. And we are growing almost 700 unique members, even more maybe this year.